that what is written in genes is based on the alignment of the pairs of nucleotides that make up the genome of neurons. To understand this phenomenon, it must be remembered that the correction of the alignment of the pairs of nucleotides, which occurs after mitosis, is carried out thanks to the path of the genome carried out by a DNA helicase enzyme, commonly called corrective enzyme. Something that can only happen on the basis of the transfer of energy to the atoms that make up the bonds that connected the different classes of nucleotides that make up the genome. Well, in this way, this enzyme ionizes these bonds atoms, which is why these bonds are broken. It is then understood that these links were reformed after cell trip. On this occasion, it should be understood that this correction occurs thanks to the energy generated by the processing of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, produced by the mitochondria of neurons by these enzymes. When the energy emitted by bodily receptors, which are linked to the execution of a certain class of genetic activity, is transmitted to the corresponding cerebral neurons by means of the appropriated nerves, occur what I call the activation of the section of the genes concerned corresponding to said bodily activity. Activities that relate to responding to what is captured. In this case, a DNA helicase enzyme, probably the result of a mutation of the corrector, runs through this section, emitting the energy linked to what I call reading of said section, which once produced generates the energy appropriate to the alignment trajectory of the nucleotides that make up the later. In this case, it should be considered that as the reader enzymes does not touch the genome since it is slightly separated from the genome by a thin layer of cytosol. This implies that by diffusing into the liquid, part of this energy is transmitted to the entire neuron. Consequently, said neurons transmits it to those with which it is connected. The latter then amplify it and transmitted it in turn to the others that make up the spinal cord, then to the different nerves that control the action of the muscle concerned, causing the activation of the latter. In this way, the bodily activities corresponding to the information captured succeed. This article is based on what I exposed and demonstrated in my work, Le fonctionnement du cerveau, The Functioning of the Brain, published by Amazon.com Bar Books. Thank you for your attention.